I welcome my esteemed guests here. This is a very expansive subject, and they are all experts on their domain. I'll start with Mr. Vinay Kumar with a very inspiring news. Uttarakhand probably has around 27 GI products, as we were discussing, and 18 of them comes under your organic board. How did this happen? Means what exceptional thing that you did that you could achieve this success that 18 out of 27 the board could manage to get GI tagging?
Thank you, Namaskar. Thank you for having me so that I can share the story of Uttarakhand. Before answering your question, let me give you an overview about our state. Our is a small state. Holding size is very, very small, like 91%, more than 91% our farmers are small, very small. They have margin of land. So when talking about their, like if we adding value to anything which is very small, then you have to go for something which can add value. So we started with the organic certification, then GI came to that. Then if you add like by organic certification, you can add like 25% additional value, but additional value come like another 10 to 15% through GI. So when I'll tell you the story now, 18 GI, our state was born in 2000 and till 2022 we have we did not have any GI, and on 22nd we have 7 GI. So on that program, it was monitored by Honorable Prime Minister's Office and DPIIT. So I was given a opportunity to arrange that program for the distribution of certificate. And in that, Dr. Bhaskar Khulbe, who was the chief advisor to Honorable Prime Minister, he is from our state only. So he was talking about the richness of biodiversity of Uttarakhand. So I was so inspired. And then after the program, they are given, why don't you start working on GI only? So I thought, let me study first. So I gone through all the gazetteers which were written by Britishers and all. And I came to know that there are like more than 100 potential GIs. And as the madam was telling here that you start with 1 or 2, everyone was telling me, hey, Vinay, why don't you start with 1 and 2, learn it, and then you will come to know how to do it, then you can add on later. So I did not tell anybody and I started working on 20. So I have got so much help from Padma Shri Dr. Rajnikant, he is right here, from GI registry also. So we started with the low-hanging fruit first. We worked on millets. So I can tell you that we are the only state which are having GI tagged millets. Yes. So I started working on the millet first, then the tea and the other crops. Like all the traditional crops which are majorly cultivated by our farmers are under GI now. So we started like among 20, we got shortlisted 18 GI. So GI registry from Dr. Unnat Pandit, they called me and they said, this is the first time any state is, going 18 GI at a go. So we will come to Uttarakhand for hearing. So we arranged that hearing for 2 days and it went very well. And after in that hearing also, we arranged everything, food, everything, only GI tagged food. So we use all the GIs for all the GI tagged foods, millets in their programs. And then after 4 months, we got 18 GI. And that program, it was attended by Dr. Bhaskar Khulbe also, Dr. Pandit also, and our Chief Minister distributed the certificate. And let him tell you, Dr. Pandit has given me this tie. This is also GI tie. This is Rajkot Patola tie. So I thought this is the best time to wear this tie today. So this was the story. Thank you.
Thank you. You were actually promoting GI yourself, taking it on your chest. Coming to Mr. Deb, APEDA, how many agriculture products and food processing items APEDA actually handles, and how many of them are into GI tagging or already have got GI tagging?
So thank you. APEDA has a very large bouquet of its products. We have around 710 plus HS codes at the 8-digit level, and out of that around 220 are GI products. And different kinds of GI products are there, like in cereals we have basmati rice and different varieties of rice. Then in the horticultural products there are different varieties of GI varieties of bananas, mangoes. Then even in some processed food products also there are unique products of different regions that are also categorized as GI. So we have a very vast bouquet of products which are GI, and a lot of efforts are being done to spearhead their export promotion abroad.
Which one is the toughest among them, means for which you had to struggle really hard to get the GI tagging of all the products? And which one is doing very well in terms of export?
So our flagship item right now is basmati rice. So APEDA, as per its act also, it is a Schedule 2 product, and the protection of GI of basmati is the responsibility of APEDA. And it's a very long journey. Since 1995 we have been working on that. Then we got the GI in 2004, and a lot of work is being done. And of course at international level also now we are working at different levels. At around 34 jurisdictions we are fighting cases for registration of basmati as a GI. And already in 29 jurisdictions, we have been successful in getting either a GI or a certification mark. And we hope to get more such certification in other countries. Of course, now, even in these 29 countries, in some of the countries, we are now getting opposition from other countries. And while definitely basmati is our flagship product, it is, we are working a lot in its promotion and also in the protection of GI.
Madam Roop, Rashi, GI tagging, if we look at it from a different perspective, it's much easier. The next part is much tougher. Means once you get the GI tagging, to add premiumness to a particular product and brand it for local or global market. In the field of textiles, how are you going about this process, that whenever a product is being tagged GI, is being GI tagged, how do you help artisans or farmers to actually make their brands premium, their products premium?
Thank you, Kaushik, for the question which I believe Madam Himani ji also raised for all of us. And in textiles, if all of you know that out of 643, I guess maybe the data would be little different for you, but that was 6 out of total 643 which are registered till my last data. 343 are with handlooms and handicrafts. Now, that first battle over, if we say in terms of not over, we have many more whom we can bring in. And considering that in handlooms and handicrafts, the coverage is more than about 70 lakh of the handloom artisans as well as handicraft personnel, we are looking forward to how to leverage it for them. Now, in GI Act Part B, we do get a lot of support from NABARD in this whole exercise, or even SIDBI, or most of these financial institutions who are looking at supporting us. We have a committee called Textile Committee, which started working on it, the GI framework for in 3 phases. First was what we call about creating a lot of awareness about a product, what ma'am said about Madhubani. Now, it's also important to know that how do we distinguish what is the genuine from ingenuine. And generally the battle has been to look at how do we get into penalty provisions. Now, our thing is that first we need to get into authorized producers, because if we need to get higher value accretion, how do we give an assurance to the buyer? And that is where it will take care of various stratification, where the people want to give, they give it to the genuine one. How do we do it? I'm sure technology can help us. We already have some of the MOUs with some of the states. We engage with states and stakeholders as well as authorized personnel. Now, in GI Part B, out of 29,624 authorized users of GI who are registered, around 19,000. For 12,942 are in textiles. So now these, at least can we look at these 12,942 and do a mapping on how this GI identification has helped brand their product? What is the value we are transferring to the consumer? I don't think it's very difficult. We have done certain experiences. Good experiences are there with any case with Pochampalli, Banarsi, which was done with the Textile Committee in 2006, if I remember. Pochampalli was actually the second product after Darjeeling tea that we have got orders internationally. For Pochampalli was the first one which got the order from White House as a GI product. So, but I don't know how many of us know of that story. So I'm very thankful that, Madam, you have organized this kind of, interaction with a communication specialist. And this kind of stories need to go farther and deeper. What we are trying to do, we are trying to develop an assurance mechanism, because we also look at, by default, our handloom and art, handicrafts aligned to what we call slow, sustainable textiles, because your resource efficiency can be increased. But then, if I increase that, I'm sure through a QR code. I've done it at a very simple level. We are trying to do with IIT Indore. We are involving with some other IITs and institutions. Some of the state governments have entered into MOUs with us. One of them, even NABARD is part of it. Another place in Orissa, SIDBI has joined with us. We have co-opted with IIM to help them market the product on the distinction. Because I feel, what is that GI gives me compared to a regular product? It's that assurance. That's why we have more of niche products world over. Out of 58,000, I think more than 60% is in wines. Why? Look at the story of Indian coffees. A small set of 3.5 lakh tons we do. But now we have coffees which are estate branded coffees you are getting. Sangameshwar estate, Atikan estate. So, we need to leverage that for higher value accretion too. Challenge in textiles would be, or any of these products which we have a smaller set of people doing, is how do they get their working capital? So we need to, as together, all the stakeholders, whether it's government, us as technical support, that how do we try to make it a subscription-driven thing? I mean to say, the order should reach them in advance. We have done it with some bigger industrialist groups. They have given advance. The products were showcased. I won't like to name them here, but, and then the whole village got the order 1 year in advance. So supposingly, if the total order value was 1 crore, they got 40 lakhs as advance. So that takes care of my handloom artisans. They don't have to run for working capital. So this is one thing wherein we are trying, and I'm sure lots of the states have shown interest, and we like to leverage this, that it should become like an in advance order, because it requires time. It can never be volumes. It is not a volume game. So let us just forget it. Let us just look at it as a niche product, higher value. They should be like, good classical musicians who are only protected by lots and lots of stakeholders across government and maybe, the corporates and public sector institutions which support our livelihood. NABARD has a standard program with us, and we are very thankful to them that they have done it, and we are in the process. So the second part is the certification. Then we get the certification. We have developed QR code, and it gives a buyer a straight thing. One can go back to the producer. Then getting that buyer linked through ONDC. That is what we have tried to do with IAM, and developing their visibility directly. Trade has a role, but more should go to the original producer. And we are trying to leverage, I always feel it, the next generation, which is IT savvy, which can help them market their product and change it from maybe only textiles to some marketable thing. I saw one of our friends bring in a very beautiful thing from Karnataka talking about Mysore Pak. We have people who have used typical textiles as packaging for Rolex watches. Can we do that? So it doesn't need to be a 6-yard sari. It can be a product which gives them much, much more, and their order books are full for next 1 year. So we are looking at that, and I'm sure that once we give a GI identification promotion, we give assurance, we say that it is a genuine handloom. There are IT devices, again from Bangalore and other places, which can be put on the loom to even basically record that it is done by hand. So when we say it is handmade, then it is genuinely handmade. And then people are willing to pay. We have a stratified market, whether domestic or international. I'm sure people love to pay when they have enough, and it has to be distinct. So that is what is our approach on this. And we hope that as total stakeholder, Rajnikant ji is also there, we should be able to do. Only thing which I want to suggest to everybody, it is GI has to have lot of historical validity. Two, we should not make a claim which can fall flat. We should not go to Google, then define and then apply for a GI. That will fall flat, and it's a credibility issue. Anybody who is in the market knows better than us. I have been given this very funny thing when I came to this sector, even by our German people who take a lot of cotton from India. India mein kuch bhi hota hai. So that is something we have to break. We have to say we are quality and we give you quality. Wo kuch bhi hota hai nahi chalega. Particularly when we are talking about it is GI, that means it's a specialty. That's it.
थैंक यू मैम. एज आप कह भी रहे थे, ट्राइफेड इस मामले में बहुत अच्छा काम करते हैं, ऑथेंटिकेशन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स. तो सर आप अभी त्रिपुरा से भी आए हैं. ट्राइफेड का एक रोल है जो ट्राइबल प्रोडक्ट्स है, जीआई टैग प्रोडक्ट्स भी है, उनके एक ऑथेंटिसिटी होता है, और साथ में ये भी ज़रूरी है कि वो मॉडर्न मार्केट के लिए उनको अलग से ब्रांडिंग किया जाए या प्रोडक्ट में इम्प्रूवमेंट किया जाए. तो आप ये दो बैलेंस करने के लिए, जो ऑथेंटिसिटी और प्रोडक्ट इम्प्रूवमेंट, ये दोनों को बैलेंस करने के लिए ट्राइफेड क्या कर रहे हैं, और ताकि वो एक मॉडर्न मार्केट के लिए प्रोडक्ट तैयार हो जाए.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और सभी को प्रणाम. राम राम. ट्राइफेड वैसे 1987 में शुरुआत हुआ. शुरुआत के स्टेज पे एग्रीकल्चर मिनिस्ट्री में थे, लेकिन आदरणीय अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी जब 99 में सरकार बनी और तब ये जो ट्राइफेड है वो ट्राइबल मंत्रालय में आया, और तभी ट्राइबल मंत्रालय अलग से बना. और अभी के हमारे जो ट्राइबल मंत्री है जुएल ओराम, वो फर्स्ट टाइम तब ट्राइबल मंत्रालय के मंत्री थे. तब से ये ट्राइफेड चल रहा है. आपने बहुत अच्छा बात कहा है कि हमारा जो ट्राइबल लोग हैं वो अपने हिसाब से पहले जो भी प्रोडक्ट है वो जो मन चाहा वैसे बना रहे थे. तब जब प्रोडक्ट बना तो उनके मन में ये नहीं था कि हम उनको बाजार में जाके कैसे बेचें, कहाँ बेचेंगे, ये सब उनके मन में ये नहीं था. लेकिन अपने आप में एक शौक के हिसाब से वो बनाते रहते थे. ट्राइबल मंत्रालय को पता चला ऐसे जो आर्टिसन है उनको मार्केट देना है, तो हमारा जो ट्राइफेड है वो उनसे जितने भी प्रोडक्ट है वो खरीद लेते हैं. खरीद के उसमें जो भी वैल्यू एडेड करना है वो करके हमारे देश में करीब 114 ट्राइब्स इंडिया का शोरूम है, उसमें रख के काम कर रहे हैं. लेकिन अभी की जो हालत बदली है और उनको मार्केट के लिए, जो मार्केट में जो लोग चाहते हैं कैसा प्रोडक्ट होना चाहिए और कैसा है, और साथ साथ में अभी तो नेशनल ही है लेकिन इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में अगर हमें जाना है तो उसमें क्वालिटी में बहुत कुछ सुधार करना चाहिए. ये बात हमारे ध्यान में आया, और जब से हमने स्टार्ट किया है बहुत सारे स्टेट ने कुछ प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर जीआई टैग लिया है. ज़्यादातर नागालैंड और गुजरात और महाराष्ट्र और कुछ कुल मिला के करीब 24 जैसे प्रस्तुतिकरण है उसमें जीआई टैग लिया है. बात ये है हम अभी तक इतने ज़्यादा जो काम कर रहे थे वो लोकली हिसाब से ही कर रहे थे. इंटरनेशनल मार्केट के ऊपर कभी पहले सोचा ही नहीं था. अभी हमने शुरुआत किया है और इंटरनेशनल मार्केट को ध्यान में रखते हुए ये जीआई टैग बहुत ज़रूरी है, वो भी हमारे ध्यान में आया है. तो हम प्रोडक्ट को ठीक ठाक करने के लिए एनआईडी जैसे जो इंस्टीट्यूशनल है काम कर रहे हैं उनको जोड़ा है, बड़ौदा फाइन आर्ट्स को भी जोड़ा है, ताकि जो आर्टिस्ट लोग हैं जो भी प्रोडक्ट है उनको अच्छी तरह से लोगों को कैसा पसंद आएगा, जैसे पेंटिंग है या ग्राफिक आर्ट है या बाकी का जो स्कल्पचर है उसमें ठीक ठाक और बदलाव लाने के लिए हम काम कर रहे हैं। जैसे मैं एक एग्जांपल दूं, पिथोरा पेंटिंग, और लास्ट ईयर आदरणीय हमारे राष्ट्रपति जी और आदरणीय नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ने वो पिथोरा पेंटिंग के आर्टिस्ट को एक अवार्ड भी दिया है जो भारत सरकार देती है। तो ऐसे पिथोरा पेंटिंग एक पर्टिकुलर ये परिवार का धार्मिक से जुड़ा हुआ पेंटिंग है। वो मन्नत लेते हैं, मन्नत के बाद वहाँ काम करते हैं, और जो पूजा के लिए जाते हैं तो एक पेड़ का डाली को काटना है तो वो डाली को भी पूजा किया जाता है कि हम ये दिन को आके ये डाली को काटने के लिए आपसे परमिशन लेते हैं, और वो डाली को वहाँ नाड़ा छड़ी बांध के आ जाते हैं, और जब काटने के लिए जाते हैं तो वहाँ जाके उनको इसी तरह से काटते हैं कि एक ही वार से वो कट जाना चाहिए, ताकि वो पेड़ को ज़्यादा घाव ना पहुँचे। ये एक हमारे ट्राइबल लोगों की मान्यता है। और वो जो काटा हुआ जो डाली है उनको ज़मीन पर हम गिरने नहीं देते हैं, और वो ज़मीन पे गिर जाता है तो वो थोड़ा पूजा में बाधा होती है, इसलिए अदर से पकड़ के ले आके घर में आके पूजा करते हैं। और साथ साथ में घर की मेन दीवार के अंदर पेंटिंग किया जाता है, और उसमें जो घोड़े बनाते हैं वो अलग अलग देवता के होते हैं। तो कौन सा देवी का कौन सा कलर का घोड़ा है, कौन सी देवी का कौन सा कलर का, ये अलग अलग सिस्टम है, और उनका रात भर पूजा किया जाता है, और उसके बाद ये पूरा पिथोरा पेंटिंग बन जाता है। यानी कि हमने ये सोचा है, ये पूरी जो कहानी है वो एक पेंटिंग लेने वाले को तो पता नहीं चलेगा कि उसके पीछे क्या अर्थ है, क्या भाव है। तो हमने सोचा है उसमें अगर कोई वो उससे वो खींच के वो देखना चाहे तो वो पूरा का पूरा वो हिस्ट्री देख सकेगा। तो ऐसे हम हर प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर एक ये रखेंगे, मोनोग्राम रखेंगे, और वो स्कैन करेंगे, तो उनको जो भी खरीदना चाहे उनको पता चलेगा कि ये पेंटिंग के पीछे वैल्यू क्या है। तो ये ऐसे बहुत सारे आइटम है जो हम जीआई टैग की तरफ से जा रहे हैं। हमारे लिए ये शुरुआत है, और हम ट्राइफेड उसमें काम कर रहे हैं। अभी तक हमने करीब 24 आइटम जैसे को जीआई टैग लिया है, बाकी का काम चल रहा है, क्योंकि हर स्टेट में अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट होता है, हर स्टेट में अलग अलग भावनाएं भी जुड़ी होती है आर्ट के पीछे, तो उनको साथ में रख के हम आगे चल रहे हैं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kumar, organic certification. It's very important in branding a product, but how is the board working towards taking it, making it more accessible, especially for small-scale farmers?
Hello. In Uttarakhand, basically I was telling you that we have small farmers and we have two system of certification. A government is giving like 100% subsidy on all the schemes which are related to organic farming. And moreover, we are basically working on two schemes. Among them, one is basically cluster-based organic farming because of scattered land. And we are targeting the traditional crops, and now we have tagged them GI also. So starting from seed to the market, we are giving every possible help to all the farmers in the group so that they don't have to be worried about anything. And like first part is adaptation to traditional crop to the organic farming. The second part is how to make them certified. So the system of certification is two. One is followed through APEDA guidelines through Ministry of Commerce, and the other one is Paramparagath Krishi Vikas Yojana, by Ministry of Agriculture. So we are the only state which are having like both the system. And in 2003, the state has its own organic board since 2003. So for now I'm heading this board for last 10 years. And let me tell you, before like 7-8 years back, we were like 2% organic as compared to our total agricultural land. Now though we have reached like from 16,000 hectare to this year we have reached 230,000 hectare, which is almost 43% of the organic certification. So because I was telling like a small land, so we have to add value. So when we have to add value, then there is no other system than like we have to add like either organic farming, organic certification, whether it is NPOP or the local for the like domestic market or GI tagging. So we are working every possible way. We have opened the 3K outlet, which is Krishi and Krishak Kalyan outlets. So we have more than 300 outlets for the farmers where they can showcase their all the products, and these are run by farmers only. There is no middleman in Uttarakhand when we talk about the organic farming, like marketing. And one more, we have collaborated also, like we have collaborated with the international organization also, like IFORM, for the how our farmer will get the feel of like global market. And second, recently last December we had a MOU with the National Cooperative Organic Limited, and we have just like procured, they have procured like 400 quintals of organic basmati GI tag dhan also. So we are working that farmers don't have to like worry about any marketing. So whether it is a domestic market or a global market, farmers are very happy. Before that, like before the organic certification, if you talk about the Rajma price, it was like 120 or something. After organic certification, it became 300 plus. And after GI, it became 380 or maybe 400 plus. So this is the value of GI and organic certification. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Deb, when it comes to export, how do you ensure the traceability of all the GI tech products, the exports done by APEDA?
See, regarding traceability, it is a challenging thing because most of the times the products are aggregated together at the mandi level or at the because we all know that ultimately we have very small agricultural holdings and we don't have large farms where the entire product can be marketed as such. But in some products we have full traceability, like Vinay ji was saying about organic products. So under our NPOP, all the products have full traceability to the farmer level, so that is there. And in other products also, depending on the buyer requirements, we have a traceability system in place. But it needs to be recognized that putting a traceability system itself is a costly endeavor, and many times the growers are not ready to, growers or the exporters are not ready for the traceability, because it is then very difficult to go for aggregation and the quality issues. But even for some items like basmati rice, we have a traceability system in place called Basmati Net, and but we haven't been able to fully get the traceability in place. But now we are working with the farmers of Jammu and also farmers in Punjab also. They want traceability for their rice, because ultimately having a traceability for the product ensures that there is a assurance in the quality. So, it is basically dependent on our growers whether they are willing for the traceability. We have the system in place, and we are also now pushing traceability in our products. Ultimately, we have the markets like EU, which are going for higher levels of traceability. And we are now engaging with the farmer groups. We very recently had interactions in Gujarat, Rajasthan regarding traceability for our pomegranates, and they are all agreeable because it offers additional benefits. Even for groundnuts, we have a traceability at the aggregation level, at the mandi level. Now in Gujarat and Rajasthan, they have agreed for traceability at the farmer level also. It is difficult, but it has its rewards also. And from APEDA side, we are working with the farmers and also the exporters for introduction of traceability, more of our items and portfolio of products.
Thank you, Mr. Deb. Ma'am, as you can see, we are running out of time. So very quickly, imitation is a very big issue with GI tech products, especially when there is a question of scaling up. How do you ensure that that authenticity remains?
See, I think I mentioned it earlier. We need to have a traceability, and it's not, we have experimented, even for that matter in cotton, for Kasturi brand, which is actually not a GI brand, but then we have been able to establish, which is actually aggregated from the farmers through a blockchain. So I'm sure we would have solutions. We have a big shop of GI in Bangalore, whoever knows here. Most of the Indian GIs are displayed there next to NIFT Bangalore. And what we are just looking at is ultimately the grower. That is where the second part of GI Act, authorized user certification, needs to be built up in the traceability mechanism. He will have an incentive for getting, he or the group, we can develop them, and we are developing some of them into groups, and we should target a specific market. Like in case of some of the handlooms, we are targeting natural dyes and targeting Japan. So that will give higher value. So I guess that will follow in place. It has to be niche. It cannot be huge volumes. If we try huge volumes, imitation will be there. And I guess we just need to distinguish genuine from imitation through riding on technology. We can do that.
Sir, जैसे मैडम ने कहा, इमिटेशन का एक इशू है, साथ में एक ट्राइबल सेंसिटिविटी का भी इशू है. कई बार ऐसे होते हैं, जैसे आपने प्रोडक्ट इम्प्रूवमेंट की बात कही, तो कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स में अगर इनोवेशन लाया जाए तो जो लोकल सेंटिमेंट है, दे प्रोटेस्ट और जगह जगह पे कहते हैं कि हमारी ओरिजिनलिटी खराब कर रहे हैं. तो ऐसा इश्यूज ट्राइफेड ने फेस किया, और अगर फेस किया तो कैसे डील करते हैं ऐसे इश्यूज में?
समय समय पे हम जो भी कम्युनिटी से जुड़ा हुआ सवाल होता है तो उनके साथ बैठ के क्या फ़ायदा हो रहा है और कैसे उनका जो लगाव है उनसे जोड़ के वो भी मान जाए कि नहीं इस तरह से करो तो हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, तो हम उनके साथ बैठ के वार्तालाप करते हैं और ऐसे ही समाधान कर लेते हैं. ज़्यादातर पेंटिंग के पीछे एक धार्मिक से जुड़ा हुआ सवाल होता है, वहाँ ये दिक्कत आती है, बाकी के प्रोडक्ट में इतना दिक्कत हमें नहीं आता है. और साथ साथ में क्योंकि हमारे देश में अलग अलग स्टेट में अलग अलग पेंटिंग में अलग अलग भावना से जुड़ा हुआ है, तो इसीलिए वहाँ के लोकल जो अधिकारी है उनको भी साथ में लेके हम काम कर रहे हैं और ये जो डिफरेंसेस ये है उनको हम दूर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. और इस साल हम 26 जनवरी को करीब 10 देश चुने हैं, वहाँ हमारे ट्राइफेड के अधिकारी जाएंगे और 1-to-1 मीटिंग करके ट्राइफेड प्रोडक्ट को हम प्रमोट कर रहे हैं.
Thank you so much, all the speakers. It was an insightful session. I could finish only 10% of my questions, but time is running out, so we'll have to wrap up this session. Thank you once again for being here and sharing your insights on this wonderful subject. Thank you for being here.